Welcome. It is I, Tevin L. Chapo. Friends call me Chop. And this right here is Chop Logic. Yes, sir. The show where we bring on many different people from many different walks of life. We see about their lives, their livelihood, and see what they know by the end if they can win some money against me as well. You know what I'm saying? And today we got a special guest. Real special guest. See, I've been knowing this man about how long, man?
And way too long since middle school.
It's been like it was elementary, bro.
Yeah, so
I still got the elementary school picture, Miss Lee class.
oh yeah, oh my goodness, bro.
Yeah,
so
bro.
at least 20 plus.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. You know what I'm saying? Friend to the show. Artist, singer, songwriter, rapper, Mr. Keontae Norm in the building.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you so much for coming through, family.
I know. I appreciate you for having me, family. It's
You
all
know
good.
what I mean? Like, just big shout out to you. You've been definitely just working on just a variety. Oh yeah, don't even worry about the water, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Appreciate you coming through. With your busy schedule. I know you're working on a lot of different music. Visual stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But we just kind of want to kick it. Chop it up with you, and then by the end, give you some trivia and see if you know some things. See if I can test your mind. You know what I'm saying? The trivia is going to be difficult, but not impossible because so far, everyone that we shot, nobody has gotten no questions wrong. You know what I'm saying? No questions right, excuse me. So everyone's got at least one right.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, at least there's a chance.
It's a chance, you know what I'm saying? So I got faith in you. So
that's good.
You know what I'm saying? So let's tap in, and just like speak on like the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Just like your musical journey, what brought you into music, you know what I mean? Like what was the early days like for you?
Well, what originally brought me into music was really just overall like vibe and feeling that it gave me when I listened to it and everything. Because I would just listen to like my pop's old R&B like CDs or like the big cases of CDs. You shuffle through the case and you listen to them and stuff. Like back then when I had like the iPod and everything, I'd like load those things up and I'd just be jamming out all the time.
Era.
So ever since then, like I would always like take a chance wherever it was. Like every time in school, if there was like a school play, I'd be in that joint. If it was like a talent show, all right, let me go ahead and see what I can do then. I think the ball really started to get rolling when decided to join my church's choir, because that actually led into like me meeting like a couple other dudes who we ended up forming together a Christian rap group called 3G. Then after that, got some experience in like the other side of like the music, the business side of the music, where like the pressing, the recording, the fees and that, the distributions, the shows, and then even like getting like paid gigs and meeting like other artists who were like more experienced in that lane.
Yeah.
And just pretty much taking in a lot of game. And then like once it I felt like it was time for me to like I don't know, I just had a feeling to like share a story of my own outside of like everything that was going around me. There was something I felt like I needed to say, so that's when I started like going to the studio and like linking up with the homie Ouija, just recording as much as I could. Like every day I'm in the studio like just recording something, like it's a song, like, and I was also like putting together like my own beats and everything too, because I think back then like all we had like was a SoundClick and just downloading beats from there. But outside of that, like I was putting together stuff on like Fruity Loops and stuff, rapping over that, like, or just getting like a free beat wherever and just like freestyling over that. And then like when I started like putting together like songs, like the production really picked up for me, so I started like doing both, like when I was making the beat, rap on it, and then like that's why I put together my first CD, which was called like my first actual CD called Medusa. There was a couple other before that, but Medusa was the one that compiled all of those other things into what it was, and that was the first project that I ever like created. And I think that was like had been around like high school times.
Yeah, I definitely like I said, just knowing you for so long, I definitely remember when Medusa came out.
Yeah.
All the stuff we was doing with video production, MTV, pushing the sound. You and Ouija together, y'all joint just singles that y'all did. The joints you just did for the school, just in general. We did the cipher.
We
did that cipher, you know what I'm saying?
Did a few ciphers.
Did a few, you know what I'm saying?
We started out the era of ciphers at that time because
it was
right
like,
after that, everyone was like, "Oh, I'll do a cipher, I'll do a cipher." I was like, "Hey, that's the power of that."
It was like a whole semester of just like pure ciphers. Like every time, every chance we got, I know I got in at least 2 for sure. One that we have evidence of.
Oh yeah.
If you follow me on Instagram, you probably seen the clip by now. But and then the other one, I think I don't even remember who was in that cipher for real. But I know we did like a second one for the school, but I don't remember what it was for no more.
It was a few that we did. A couple that probably didn't make the news.
I know you and shout out my boy Jason, y'all did Always on the Rise.
Yeah, did that plus the part 2.
Plus the part 2 that y'all, Jason wouldn't let me in the video in. So I'm calling you out, bro. Yeah, you didn't let me in that video. I'll still never forget that to this day. That was 10 years ago. I still remember that.
Oh man, yeah. But that was the same we recorded with Ouija too. So it was just like a whole bunch just wrapped up in that time, and where it was like even that time even helped me like build like visually too on how to put like together like the look of it and the sound of it and combine it together.
Yeah, I feel you. So just in the time that you've been coming up in the music, like who would you consider like some mentors, influences? You know what I mean?
I guess first starting coming up when I was like listening to like R&B music, I was like listening to a lot of like Maxwell and The Dream, and then like plus a couple more, but I can't think of it right now. But when I started flowing into like listening to rap music, it was like artists starting off like Ludacris, Outkast, the South, Atlanta, the dirty South, but also like I was also listening to like a lot of alternative rock music like Death Cab for Cutie and Orange Apparatus, Straight Jacket. Just the sounds of it, the chill, mellow tones and vibes that you would get like when I started like flowing from like the rap music when I was listening to more like mellow stuff like Wiz Khalifa and then Drake, like that's when I started like combining like the aspects of like singing and rapping together and stuff, because like way before like I even wanted to be like I consider myself a writer overall. But like as far as like musically, I wanted to like tap in more. I was tapped in more into like singing than I was rapping coming up. And then like when the rapping kind of like found its way to me, I kind of like saw it more as just like the expansion of being able to expand more on the words and stuff. Because with singing, it felt like so limited on like what I could say and what I could like what I could explain to help bring people in more into my world and stuff. I felt like with rapping, it helped me like build out the verses more, build out the hooks more and everything, because like I got a lot more I can say into it. Plus it's like the different ways you can flip it is just a lot more fun to like listen to and everything, where it like as in with singing songs, it's like put you more into like a vibe. As a rapping songs, it could put you into a vibe, it could put you into a hype, it could put you into the like any mode whatsoever. But yeah.
Yeah, true. So just in terms of like the development of your sound and just things like that, like do you see the obvious like growth that you've had over the years and just the different things that you've done, and like where do you think are like some of the places that you've been able to improve on in your sound over the years?
Actually, like when I was like, I don't know, you spend so much time working, it's kind of like hard to take a look into things. But I've always like could tell, because I was never like staying in like the same place, even in like writing and like stories and everything like that. Because I always like I hungered for the experience and stuff, to experience something new. I don't like try to place a lot of connotations on things like good or bad. So like I was just like floating around like different waves and stuff through life, and like and it wasn't until like certain points where it came where I was like making certain projects where I was like, like I remember thinking about this like way back then, just putting together the pieces and putting together things, and now I'm actually like in a mode where I can like accomplish and record this. Like I have a project coming out where it has like a lot of skits, a lot of character detail, a whole lot of story building, which came from like the years prior beforehand, and it was actually recorded a couple more times before the actual project came out. But because of like the growth in certain points and things, and because of certain situations happening, like hard drives getting wiped and all that stuff, but I kind of like just Yeah, you know, like the equipment
worst.
just be failing on you. But I just kind of chalked that up as like maybe it probably wasn't time for that to come out, and then because I'm the type of person when I record something, I want that thing to go right out there. I want the people to hear it. So I guess like, and just chalked that up as like, all right, maybe that wasn't supposed to come out then, but now like since I've grown more and I can record it like with certain pieces and elements, I can do it now. So I guess in those moments I notice and be like, wow, like now I'm sitting back and I'm listening to like the album being recorded, because now I got like another album called Bayani on the way, which is the flip side of the Kami album. And I don't know, this has more melody and singing details into it, a lot more ways in the writing where it kind of like helps you build into the perspective of the other side of the story. So even sitting back and recording that and watching and listening into all the visuals and stuff that came out to building up to then, I was just like, wow, like I can definitely feel the growth in myself, and also still the same hunger, because it's not finished. It's still so much more left to do, and I feel like I can still do so many other things. Plus, there's so many other things that I do want to do. So even in those times, I feel there's a growth to come, and then
yeah. You know, so just in terms of just thinking about like just everything that you've done, what would you consider like the hardest project for you to make for one reason or another, whether it been time or just the energy or just the vibe or what have you, just the most difficult project that you've made up to this point?
I would have to say I didn't even know it until, honestly, till you just asked that question. Because now I was sitting back and thinking about it.
Hey, we asked all the good questions on this show, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. But even with the project that I'm working now, which is probably like the longest I've been working on it, as much as the certain other projects and stuff, I'd say it have to be like the Kami album, because with that one, it's attached to so many other things, even the project that I'm working on now. Like that, it branched out. Like I would consider the Kami album kind of like the other musical projects that I created to help make the Kami project will be the roots of it. This would be like the actual tree, and then the branches and everything is everything else that I'm creating around it now. And then like, after that is the sky's the limit and stuff. But I would say the Kami album, because that just like helped gearing everything else, the experiences and creating that, the recording it a couple of times, the whole projects, the different ways I had to write it, and even like the skits and everything, the people to meet, even the engineering on it like had to come in layers and stuff like that, because with it having been recorded a couple more times, it had to be like really tight. I didn't even know it until like then, because it helped me find myself as like a artist in that moment, because I was like more focused on like the creation aspect, and then I saw it actually blossom. That was the first thing of any of the projects I ever created for that to happen.
Okay, yeah. So just like even kind of piggybacking off of that, what would you consider some of your biggest accomplishments that you've done up to your point in this career?
I'd say my biggest accomplishments to me personally are just the people that I met and the experiences that I've had, because those are priceless. I can't put,
for sure.
I mean, there's so many bags that get transferred in and out within like the creation of any type of craft, but
yeah,
like the people and you meet and the stories you hear, the experience you gain, and the insights on the different perspectives of life is something I don't think you can ever put no type of price on. Like, and it's like something that you can only cherish when you actually like experience that thing. You're like, you know what? I'm taking this piece of thing, and like, even if like it's not a moment, like it's like being like out on a stage and like, sharing music to a whole bunch of people, even if it's just like an intimate moment between you and another person and stuff, or like, a friend, family member, whatever. Or just like, because sometimes you meet different people, like the same person, different person, like somebody you knew from way long ago. And then like you meet them again a couple years later, you're like, I didn't know you were this dope. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, man. Like even in moments like that, like it's always just the people and the connections, and having the connections in those moments.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? You got to value those moments as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
They come a lot more, they mean a lot more than anything monetary, anything physical that you can get for what you do. And just, so just nice that you really appreciate those times and those moments. You know, a lot of artists kind of like dig themselves into like this hole of just working, and always feeling like everything is work. But even like in the work, you got to find the enjoyment of it. You feel me? So, you know, it's just good. What would you consider like some good ways that you use to maintain a work-life balance? Just maintaining the music and just maintaining like everything else you got going on in your life.
I say the most important part is just the most important parts would be like knowing the boundaries of things, like making sure nothing floats over into this or float over into that, because you know there's some certain times created for certain things. Don't get caught up so much in like the timing of things either, like because what is time really, like in between like in between here and what you want to do from now is just like, you know, however way you get there, you're gonna get there if you really want to get there, and it's just the work included into all of that. So and also like not trying to take things a lot so seriously all the time, because like a lot of things have nothing, a lot of times people take things personally and it kind of like, you know, floats over into other aspects of things, and that's why I like to probably like bring in like certain energies from like, you know, from work to home to work and stuff and everything. But it's like you just got to know that every moment is its own moment, and once you realize all of that, like you just gotta manage it, because life is still crazy at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, you're still you.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of people get into a lot of stuff that's going on around them and let that force their mindset into what is going on with them. You feel me? But it's just taking into consideration like the things that you can and can't control, and just kind of like just working your way around that. You know, the things that you're looking for in yourself, the things that you're looking for in your future, and just trying to maintain from there. You know what I mean? So just in terms of just like when you're working in like the studio, you're in the space, like how do you get into that mode? Like what does your creative process look like? If you can give away, I know there's like trade secrets at that point, but
yeah, most times, because it's all different for any particular person. I guess unless you like, you know, work into the craft, you know, you don't catch that vibe a lot of time. But I guess for me personally, the way that I stay, you know, the way I get studio ready is I'm always studio ready. Like I walk in studio. Shoot, I practice songs in my head when I'm working on the daily, or when I'm just like just chilling, or just like, you know, having a moment to myself doing something else. You know, maybe put what I'm doing into a couple of bars, or just like writing in my head in general. Because I just love shit. Honestly, I just love creating. I love crafting things together. I love seeing the process of things worked out. But at the same time, it's like I'm connected to it. So anytime I'm in the studio, like go ahead, put on the beat. All right, bet I have a verse ready for you. Maybe in about like 20 minutes, sitting there just writing, just because I'm so focused in on my thing. I know where to tap in, where I need to sit down. All right, cool. What's this about? Oh, what we need to do? All right, bet, let's do this. Or if I got like a project I need to do, I've already been practicing this project for 6 months. Let's go ahead. Let's knock this thing out. By the time I get in the studio and I record the album, we still got probably like a hour left if we running off of time. If we just going back and forth with it. But a lot of times because of that, you know, at the same time, you don't want to take things like 100% too serious all the time, but you still want to take it serious.
Yeah.
Like you still want to have fun with it, but at the same time, you in the mode where you got to work. It's time to work. It's time to work. And when work is done, all right, bet we got some time to just mess around, whatever.
Well, I'm glad you said that, brother, because I actually got a beat right here. Let's see if you want to. I ain't gonna hit you with the hot 97, make you spit a 16.
I'm saying, like,
crazy.
nah, but like you seen, yeah, you gotta stay ready. And that's what I'm saying.
Nah, you gotta stay ready. You know,
hey,
some artists, they don't be ready. You know what I'm saying? We all listen. I don't know if it's just me who remembers when Drake was doing that freestyle and he had this little Blackberry
out, yeah,
Blackberry Drake. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, that ain't no freestyle. That's free writing. That's
free writing. If you wrote it in the car, that's still you wrote it though.
I'm saying, you know, hey, it's a freestyle if we never heard it. That's what they say. But if you want to be, 100% prepared, it'd be good just to, like, you know, practice a couple of bars to yourself if you got something.
Yeah, I think like if you go in anticipating the rap, like you should have like some bars thought up. I'll give you that.
Exactly.
But when you got stuff written down already, like no matter what beat they pick, like come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Yeah, it's not always a good look, but it's like, hey, look, it's cool to do. I don't know. Work on your craft. I'll just say that. Because if you work on your craft and be ready, then you ain't got to get ready.
Like what? All right. So in terms of just like even getting ready, like in the studio, like different. I know that you work with different like producers, a variety of different artists and stuff like that. So it's just like when you catch that one that you know what I'm saying, when you like just going through the beats, you going through the selection, you're just like, man, like this the one. How do you know it's the one? Like it's just some type of melodies that you kind of cling to, or is it just like anything that's really come up, just how you feeling that at that moment?
I really listening and be honing in on like what the beat be trying to tell me, honestly. Like if I'm writing a song from just straight scratch and I ain't got no, like a lot of times I'm writing the songs for myself, that's what I'm doing anyway. But if I'm like doing like a feature or something like that, all right, but what's the topic? And then try to like find the topic of that, the flow of that topic within the beat, if that makes sense. It's like almost trying to hear like, you know how somebody sounds if they angry, you know, if somebody sounds if they sad, you know, if somebody sounds if they happy. What is this beat trying to tell me just off the base of the sounds? Like, is this trying to, what story am I hearing from this? Do I see myself walking in the park talking to this girl on this beat? Or do I see myself like just chill, like rolling up in the car with the homies and like bumping like heavy blast bass, going crazy and stuff? We about to hop out, go to this party, or about to hop out, see where this other homie at, or if we got to handle some business. What's probably like, what is this beat trying to tell me? Like, but that's pretty much how I like to get into it. Like, I don't like to get into it like with any words thought out at all, because I feel like it already kind of like boxes you into what that is supposed to be. But if you like go in there and you try to like kind of like just listen for a second to what outside of what your thoughts are, what does this sound like? And I'm pretty sure that will help you get to the right path of like trying to like, you know, write like a decent song at least.
Yeah, for sure. You ever had to rewrite a verse? Like if you was in the studio with like you was doing a feature, or like you in there with a producer and they heard you, you know, do the verse and like they like, nah, you gotta do that again. Like even if it was like probably like one of those verses, you like, damn, this was good, and they was like, nah, you gotta do that again. You ever had that happen before?
Yeah, when I was like in my younger days when I was coming up, because you learning like and everything, and I was like, you know, you coming from just writing stories to just trying to structure those stories into verses and hooks now. So a lot of times you know run into people who either just let that slide, or they'll be like, hold on, you need to go ahead, you need to double back on that, you need to go ahead and say this a certain way, you need to say this a little stronger. And it's always important I feel like it's always important to have that, because if you didn't have that, you ain't gonna be as good as you can be later on, to the point that where you don't have to be told that. By the time you come to the studio, you do your thing, you already know what pitch you need to be on, how low you need to be, how fast I need to say this. Even on the spot, if you wrote it a certain way, if the beat coming in this way, I bet that all I gotta do is say these words this way and it still flows and I can still keep it going. So like it's all about a matter of like being honest with yourself and developing that skill level to the point to where it's super sharp.
I did that. Who was like the hardest person to be in the studio with? And all the people that you done worked with, and I'm not even saying that to be like disrespectful to anybody, but I'm saying the most difficult experience, just in terms of just whatever, just what made it difficult. You know what I'm saying?
I'd have to. It's two different people for two different two different reasons. Because one is an artist, other one's an engineer. I say the artist would be the homie I-47, only because like he likes his down to a touch, and I'm the type of person where it's like I like to hear what do you hear when you like making this song and stuff like that. I know what I'm coming in with and everything like that, but I'm not an engineer. I have an ear for certain stuff and everything like that, but I'm not an engineer. I don't know the if you look and you show me like a whole bunch of stuff moving and everything like that, it'll probably take me a while to figure it out. I'll probably be able to figure it out a little bit and stuff like that, but you know, I'm not that locked in and stuff. But he like will sit there and talk with him and everything like that. I know I hear this and I want it to sound like this right here, and I was like, all right, cool. So it would take like we'll be on like mix 10 or mix 11. Like by the time I'm like probably like a mix 2 or 3 type of person, and that's on the engineer's call. But yeah, artist wise, I say him. But all love on those ends because it helps the song comes out to be as good as it can possibly be, and that's always a good thing. Engineer wise, that would be the homie Q Fremont, only because
shout out to Q, man.
Yeah, 100%. And the only reason I'm as good and the quality of the song sound as good as it does because it's like he wants his stuff to be tight even when we were still coming up and it was still sounding like back in the day stuff when we were just recording and stuff and everything. It'd be kind of like bass engineering, going from bass engineering to him locking in and learning stuff for himself just to elevate his own skill and everything like that, and just to sit back and see all that. And it was always like the only reason I say it was like it wasn't difficult for me, but I always be seeing it for like other people on the process stuff that record through and everything because it's a lot of like sitting there and focusing in the same way that I like to focus in when I'm writing in or recording stuff and everything like that. I still talk whatever like that, but it's like he is super focused in, like come back he'll say something every now and again, but focused in, like suggestions. He try to lock in and figure out what he hears from this song right here. He mixing it down like it's his joint, so he gonna make sure it sound good if it gonna come out. Like even if you like, yo, like where to mix that and everything, they're like, oh, he's still mixing it. It's like, what? It's been like 3 weeks now. Even though it can be a little bit, sometimes here and there, it's still always 100% quality every single time, and it's always better every time I do like a new record with them.
I feel that. That's respect. That's respect, man. So like, what will be the easiest people that you work with? It's like people that you was like, man, oh, we knocked this out seconds, damn near.
Craziest thing is same individuals. Work hard, work quick, and that way. So the other processes of everything else, like we can use the other time to lock in on making this sound as good as it possibly needs to sound, or talk about how we're gonna make this song a thing, its own living, breathing thing, whatever way we can, like how way we can push this. Like that's what we're gonna use extra time for. But as far as coming here and working on the song, we already know what we about to do. We already came. We already know when we come in here and it's time to work gonna happen. Work gonna happen quick, and we gonna make sure it's always tight. Like so we can do extra stuff if we need it, or do whatever. But same exact people, like hard workers, and definitely like know exactly what they doing every single time I come in the studio.
Okay, no doubt. So like, who would you want to work with now at this point in your career? Like, if you could work with anybody, no matter how big, small, whether you know them, don't know them, whoever, you know what I'm saying? You want a Drake stimulus package, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, a little alley-oop from Drizzy or somebody, like who would it be,
Right now, I don't know, I've been like so tapped out mainstream wise because the main person who I really wanted to work with was Mac Miller, RIP.
Rest in peace, Mac.
Yeah, because like just the production on it, the instrumentation, the vocals of it, the vibes and all that stuff. It was just like perfect for like artists coming in production wise would still be able to tap in on extra stuff and still be able to create like a whole body of work. It's like beautiful, but I couldn't honestly say anybody else besides maybe like somebody like Cole or Kendrick, and that's only on the basis of like sitting down, just to be able to chance to sit down and like talk game a little bit too. Okay. Like because like a person to be able to like sit back and still be able to build his own camp at the same time being able to run his own brand the way he does on that Cole level, and then Kendrick with the level of being able to like when he pop out with just the amazing constructiveness and everything. So just be able to like to tap in on the experience of that would just be crazy and stuff. I don't say Drake, even though he is a main influence of mine coming up and everything like that, only because of the route, honestly. Like,
I hear you.
not really like a pop media person, honestly. I pay attention to certain things and everything, but I'm not like a person looking forward to like being the front runner every single like being the front runner, honestly, because at the end of the day, it's like, not about you.
Yeah, I feel that.
And that's just the energy that comes from when like, looking at certain things that, moving in those directions. But I'd say for right now, it had to be probably like Cole or Kendrick, leaning more towards Kendrick than Cole, possibly.
I feel that, you know what I'm saying? I don't even do music, but I'll take a Drake feature. I know, if you know me at all, you know my, I guess, how I put this, my opinions on Drake have not been too favorable in general. But I will still take a feature if he were ever to bless me with such a thing. If I were to get in the studio and start rapping tomorrow, I'm not going to say no to a Drake feature. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I seen the artist. You seen the artist video when it was like, man, whenever you get a Drake feature, you just like, it don't even matter what you say. It's going to be a hit. You know what I mean? So
yeah, true that. Like, shoot, but I think they're starting to fall off a little bit more now.
It is now because I think Drake is starting to fall off. I don't want to.
That's a whole nother part.
That's a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be that guy. But I think the strength of the Drake stimulus package ain't what it used to be when Future got one, the Migos got one. You know what I'm saying? Or even
everybody has their time. That's the thing about it. That's why it's not always about you, because everybody has their time. Everybody has their place, and the big three have been the big three for a while, but they're not the first big three. To be honest with you.
Very
and
true.
It's a new generation of stuff coming in. It's like people are getting tired of listening to the same old thing, and people are ready for something fresh, new, and honestly real. Like they ain't trying to listen to nobody like just talking a lifestyle anymore. Just talking up whatever, like cash, fame, whatever like that. They ain't looking for that no more. They're looking for something to make them feel something nowadays.
Yeah, I feel that. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely been a shift in the culture. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of the different sounds, the different artists that have been coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who are some of like the newer cats that have been coming out that you've been listening to, or just if you listen to artists at all? I know artists don't really listen to too many other artists like that, but just people that have been kind of coming up lately that kind of caught your radar.
I still kind of tap into like the old people that I be listening to a lot of times, like West Side Boogie, who just came out with something like
shout out to Boogie.
Outside of that, like I really haven't been tapping in with too much anybody on a mainstream level. It's all been like either like been real in-house work and like people who like I've been real close with who drop music and stuff. Like the homie Brand Bob and like the homie I-47 and like a couple other people who I just be scrolling through and everything like that. But outside of that, it's not really too much like mainstream wise I've been tapping to on a late basis. Only because like I'll chalk it up to me being like still being album mode a little bit, because I'm still kind of tapped in on like a lot of like the inside stuff. So I've been listening to like a lot of my own stuff.
Yeah, I feel you. So even with you being in album mode, like, you know what I'm saying? I know you spoke on it briefly, like just tell us about the like upcoming work. You know what I
mean? The album's called Bayani, and pretty much it's the flip side to like the Kami album, where it's like a story between like this guy and this girl, but pretty much it's all like metaphorical to me, written in like real perspectives of things, because it all kind of like represents like a story of balance, honestly. With the Kami side being about the guy trying to find balance back in his life on a personal level instead of like more of like a public level, because he like is a rapper, entertainer in the first story. And then like in the Bayani album, it's more or less about this girl who's having all of these familiar issues and everything, and or getting so much involved in this like world stuff that she never had any chance to think about what she actually wanted to do. So it always, in these two projects, using this latter one, the Bayani project, to kind of like connect the dots on a lot of things, like, and also like Using that project to also bring in people on a visual level, because visually we've been going crazy with a lot of things, and even like got like a upcoming short film for the thing. Like, not to mention we dropped like a couple of like a short film things on the Keontae Norm YouTube page that kind of like helps detail out the story a little bit, but at the same time, it's also like one of those projects that I also want to do for a long time, because it's a lot of acoustics in it, a lot of singing melodies, harmonies in it, a lot of like a lot of things brought from the EPs that I've released, bringing up to this project. So it's been a long, building of this work and everything. And honestly, it's probably the most fun I've had working on like a thing, because it's giving me the time to actually sit back and apply to practice everything that I've been taking in over the years.
Nice. That's dope. So just like overall in your whole like musical career, what are some of the biggest challenges that you had to face? Like some adversities or just things that didn't always go your way and you kind of just pushed through anyway?
I'd say the biggest challenges were learning how to accept myself, honestly. Because if you're like spending enough time just creating, like I guess, especially in a craft like this, where a lot of times you're presenting, and then like taking times to like work through life, but at the still same time like trying to open yourself up. It's a lot of like mirror work at that same time. You're kind of like spending a lot of time almost talking to yourself in a way, where it's like, all right, like, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to bring out? Where am I trying to go? Even like in the midst of like, what you're doing in that moment, even if something that you've been looking forward to a long time is still stuck in that mindset. All right, cool. Then what's next? So, I guess the acceptance of self didn't really come too much later on, until after like I had already like been working on a lot of the things that kind of like preceded what I'm doing now. But when it came time for that moment to actually sit down and have that moment with yourself and like be like, all right, what is it that I'm actually trying to be? What is it that I'm trying to do? Not even in the short term goals, but in the overlooking aspect of things. What is it that I like actually am, like, not even trying to be? What are you, honestly? So like that would probably be like the hardest part that came from all of this. But honestly, I feel like I've never been in a way better place than right now.
That's fire. So I guess my last question until we get to the trivia would be like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, honestly, I see myself still, not really still doing what I'm doing now, because honestly, like in 5 years' time, I actually want to start building something for the future generations. Like, I do have a couple of ideas, a couple of things that I do want to do, and I have like planned out, and I've talked with a couple of people, just to see how the idea sounds outside of my own head. But I do want to like do like a whole lot of giving back to like those who were just like, not even just like me, but just like everybody else who like, cause we all grown up where we want to do this thing or want to be this person outside of like the person you were told you were supposed to be your whole life. Then I want to be able to have a place or something like that, like, or like that they can come to express that. I've had situations like that before coming up when I was a kid, and it felt good to have those, but it's always like accompanied with some type of politics or something like that. So pretty much this time around, and hopefully in 5 years' time, with everything willing and timing permits, then a couple of those things would definitely learn to fold out. Can't speak on too much because I don't want to say, but definitely like something like I want to give back to everything that's given back to me.
It's all good. Excuse me.
It's all good.
Eyes watering like hell, nigga. Try to hold that cough in. Excuse me. Throat dry. I'm sorry, I need some water. All right, I'm good. All right. Excuse the tears. You know what I'm saying? It's been a sentimental day. You know what I'm saying? They were so emotional. Nah, I'm fucking around. But yeah, man, that's dope. That's definitely dope. That's all right, let's get into the fun part. You know what I'm saying? So this is the trivia. The Coffin Man Terry trivia today. So basically it's 5 questions in your related field. Each question is worth $5 if you get it right. If you get it wrong, you get a whole lot of nothing. You dig what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So with you, like I told you before we start recording, to try and make them general towards the music industry as a whole. I'm still holding this coffin. But yeah, so it's gonna be a lot. It's already. Yeah, I'm trying to thug it out, bro. I'm a real OG. Be real, bro. I'm fighting it. I'm a fighter. It's just a dry mouth cough, bro. I ain't got the vid, bro. I'm negative, bro. Don't even do me like that. Boy. I'm healthy. I take my vitamins. All right. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Look. All right. I'm good. Okay. Let's do it. All right. So question number 1 in this teary-eyed coffee version of the trivia. How many major labels are there right now?
Major label?
How many major labels are there right now? So it's multiple choice. Is it A5, B6, C4, or D7? So how many major labels are there right now currently? Is it A5, B6, C4, or D7?
Is it C4?
That's your final answer?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
That was correct. I don't know how you did that. I didn't know that at all. There are 4 major labels right now: Sony Music Entertainment, Universal Music Group, EMI Group, and Warner Music Group. And I thought Def Jam, RCA, all that would count, but all of those are under one of the 4 that I named. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I had the Motown. I don't remember. I think Universal owns Motown. Yeah. Yes. Again, I had to double check that one because that sounded wrong.
I was
but
getting
it was
ready
right.
to say
it
5, and then I was like, nah, because I thought Interscope, and I was like, nah. I think they
it's
got
owned under. I think it's under Sony.
Sony.
You know, it's all under something. Oh man. You know, the life of an artist, man. So you already got one right off the top. You know what I'm saying? It might be a rap, you know what I'm saying?
They always get harder.
It might be, they might be easy for you, man. I'm not in the music industry, so it was hard for me when I was trying to do these.
I know a little something.
So what is mechanical royalty? That's number 2. So number 2, what is mechanical royalty? Is it A, money paid to a writer for a song reproduced on a CD, ringtone, MP3, etc.? Is it B, money a songwriter gets for public performances? C, money paid to a label for a song reproduced on a CD, ringtone, MP3, etc.? Or D, money paid to a performer for public performance? Let me know if I need to go back through them answer choices. I know it was a lot.
Yeah, one more time.
All right. So again, the question is, what is mechanical royalty? Is it A, money paid to a writer for a song reproduced on a CD, ringtone, MP3, etc.? B, money a songwriter gets for public performance. C, money paid to a label for a song reproduced by a CD, ringtone, MP3, etc. Or D, money paid to a performer for public performance. And I completely understand that it's 2022, so saying things like CD, ringtone, MP3 are a little outdated, but the term still very much exists regardless of the streaming era as well. So don't let that part fool you.
Would it be A?
So A, money paid to a writer for a song reproduced on a CD, ringtone, MP3. Let me go through the rest of them.
Yeah, final answer.
That's your final answer?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how you did that either. That's correct. That one
I
was,
was thinking it too. You know why? Because I thought of mechanical pencil, and he said writing.
I don't know how mechanical pencil and writer was the giveaway of that answer. That's so crazy.
I swear.
A mechanical royalty began as a royalty paid. It began as a royalty paid to a writer for reproducing their song on a mechanical device, such as a piano roll. I'm talking way too fast. These days, the reproduction may not be mechanical, maybe MP3, maybe streams, but the term still applies. So that is correct. So you already up too. You 2-0 already. That's crazy. All right.
Watch that documentary.
I do a lot of
Bro, I really need to make harder questions. I thought these would be tough.
Watching music documentary.
Nah, I've been doing this thing since 13. Bro. Come on.
I mean, I get it.
Respect, man. I had somebody sit me down and explain this shit to me.
Hey, at least you know your stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, at least you know your thing. You know more than me. Like I said, I ain't know nothing about that. Question number 3. Who composed the U.S. national anthem? Yeah, we in America, so let's not act like this. Who composed?
First of all, everybody in the room black. That thing gonna apply to
Hey, man, look, I don't listen, man. When the birth certificate say United States, I'm going to count it as a question, bro. All right, we learned this in school. I know for a fact because they made us sing this shit. So, who composed it? So the answer choices are A, Nathan Joel, B, Francis Scott Key, C, William T. Masterson, or D, John Walker. Oh, excuse me, John Walker. I split John twice. That's me. That's a typo. I was typing. I typed all these up myself.
Say one more time.
So A, Nathan Joel, B, Francis Scott Key, C, William T. Masterson, or D, John Walker, aka John in my notes for some reason.
I'm gonna say D. Final answer.
D,
Yeah.
John Walker.
Yeah.
It's not. It's nearly not John Walker. There's no one named John from the national anthem era. I promise you. I'd be so surprised. Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Final answer.
That is incorrect. Thank God for me. I'm sorry. So the answer was B, Francis Scott Key. Francis Scott Key composed the lyrics of the national anthem. Its melody was sung by John Stanford Smith. I can't. You show me a picture of both those two people. I can't tell you who either one of them is. His name is my name too. Some.
Oh, my bad.
Francis Scott Key. I don't know why that sounded like an actor to me.
I mean, honestly,
That sounds like somebody who played a Medea play or something.
well, I mean, to be fair, Francis Scott Key is the only real person out of all the answer choices. So the other 3 I just made up.
Oh damn!
It was just,
I should have known from the John Walker shit.
nah, the John was just a real typo. I feel like that would threw that off. I would have not picked that just off the strength of that. But that was just me doing the typo shits. They ain't got nothing to do with the. Yeah, you know, shout out to John. Shout out to John Walker, JJ Walker. You know what I'm saying? I just made him up. If you really out there, shout out to you. All right, man. You know what I'm saying? 2-1. You know what I'm saying? So, question number 4. Excuse me. Yeah, question number 4. Who was awarded the very first gold record? So the first ever gold record to ever been given out to any musical act. Who was it? Was it A, the Beatles, B, Elvis Presley, C, Perry Como, or D, Ray Charles?
Run that back for me one more time.
So who was the first person ever awarded with a gold record? Was it A, the Beatles, B, Elvis Presley, C, Perry Como, or D, Ray Charles? Who was awarded the very first gold record?
I'm gonna say. That's crazy. I'm gonna say D. Final answer.
D, final answer?
Yeah.
Gotta go with the brother. I respect that. But it's incorrect, bro.
Last person know to win for it. Keep back.
Hey man, listen, I respect the answer, you know what I'm saying? But
I know the answer. So
the answer is C, Perry Como.
I thought
So-
that for a second, but I was like, I don't know who.
I don't know who. Listen, so the very first gold record was awarded to Perry Como in 1958 for his recording of "Catch a Falling Star." I don't know who that is. I've never heard that song before, but it was the first thing to ever get a gold record.
I know, but that's the same point. Like,
So also, another fun fact would be that before him, everybody was basically spray painting their own records gold as a ploy to make it seem like they went gold when they did. So, gold records were a thing for longer than when he first got it.
That's crazy.
But he was the first one to get it. Yeah, they were spray painting their shit to make it seem like, I got a gold record. But, it wasn't real gold because you didn't really sell the units to really do it. Shout out to Perry Como and his lineage. I don't know if... Hey, man, look, it's a crazy world we live in. They want the fake accolades.
Yeah.
They want to...
They say I'd rather look like I got it than actually got it.
Yeah, we want to look like it. You know
The
what I'm
people that
saying?
actually got it don't look like they got it.
Hey, they be playing, man. They be playing.
I'm saying.
All right, so final question. I don't know how easy or not easy this is gonna be. This can go either way at this point. Moment of truth. No pressure. I'm fucking around. There's no pressure at all for real. So question number 5. No lifelines, no hints, no notes. Can't call nobody, can't text nobody.
Need a heartbeat sound effect.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So question number 5. How many different instruments did Prince play on his debut album? His very first album. How many different instruments did Prince play on his debut album? Was it A, 3, B, 9, C, 15, or D, 27?
C, final answer.
C, final answer? It is incorrect.
Damn.
So the answer was D, 27.
What the fuck?
Prince's first album, For You, was released on April 7th, 1978. According to the album notes, Prince wrote, produced, arranged, composed, and played all 27 instruments on the recording. Shout out to him, man. Rest in peace
I
to
don't know why.
Prince.
In my head, I thought 15, and then when I heard 15, I was like,
Yeah,
gotta be it. I was like,
you forgot about 27.
I ain't even listened to 27.
That shit don't even exist.
I was like, first of all, I don't even.
That's madness. You play, imagine going through a whole album. You are basically curating from beginning to end the entire thing on your own.
Bro,
No help.
that's wild.
That's crazy. 27. Yeah, he was playing. He been playing for a while, so
That's
you
hit
know.
the J. Cole for the J. Cole, bro. I produced this and wrote sung on it, bro.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's wild. I didn't listen, man. I didn't want to believe it. I looked it up. It's true, man. If you go back to that album, go to the.
I'm over here like thinking about instruments in my head. I'm like, all right, cool.
Man,
There
it's.
are 27 instruments to be played.
I didn't know that either, man. Listen,
I know, it's more.
I knew he was like.
27 on a record
To say someone learned how to play 27.
You was in there by yourself.
Hey, like I said at the beginning of this thing.
By yourself.
Like this nigga was
No
just
breaks.
Like I said at the beginning of this thing, knowledge is the key. So
Knowledge is the key,
now,
man.
now that I didn't know that, now I know that. Hey, look, I'm trying to get up to 27 instruments now.
Hey, if you can do it, look, it don't seem like an easy task, goddamn. I ain't gonna hold you.
I can't even play one.
I can't even play one, bro. I remember. You remember the recorders we used to get back in the day, the little flute joints. I had like one note on that thing. That's
So
it.
maybe half.
That's C sharp, bro.
That's all I had on it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Again, shout out to Prince.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the legends,
Yeah.
and of all time.
Most of.
So hey, man, look, you came. You know what I'm saying? You started with nothing. You came in with something. You didn't get them all right, but hey, that's the name of the game. You know what I'm saying?
2 out of 5 ain't bad.
Look, you win some, you lose some, but
Yeah.
you live. You live to fight another day.
Yeah.
$10. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? A little 10
100%.
piece, you know what I'm saying? Get you up the road a ways. And
Right.
probably that's it.
That's snacks again.
Hey, look, you know, I
That's just gas, huh?
already put gas in the car, so that's just food money. You know, I was just looking for a little snack anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
Bags of chips, you know, a little Powerade joint.
Most
You know what I'm saying?
appreciate you having me on here, fam.
Yeah. Look, I appreciate you coming through for sure. You know what I'm saying? Please be sure to like promote, you know, your socials, you know, upcoming music, where to find the music, all that stuff. You know, where to find you, visuals, whatever.
100%. Name's Keontae Norm. That's on all social medias. KeontaeNorm. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever else you can find me. If you type it in on Google, all of that will pop up. Album Bayani coming soon. Check out other albums, EPs, the Norm 2 EP, Metrius 4 EP, Kami Project. Check out all of that. And just make sure to stay tapped in, stay tuned, because we got so much more coming soon. We staying working. And just because you don't see it now doesn't mean it ain't going to happen.
Nah, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, again, Keontae Norm, I appreciate you coming through to the show. You know what I mean? I appreciate you having the time to, you know, come and chat with us today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get to leave with some money and everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything works out for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? That's it for us. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for, you know, listening. Thank you for watching. You know, please be sure to, you know, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Don't forget to, you know what I'm saying, follow up with the next episodes coming up. You know, go back to the previous episodes. You know, if you haven't heard, seen those, you know, get on it. You know, my name is Tevin L. Chapo. Friends call me Chop. This right here is Chop Logic. And we out this thing. That's it. That's all we got. Peace out. Yeah. Arsenio.